Hello and welcome back to the End of the Fourth Football Podcast. It is me, your host, B-Hizzy, aka Brendan Hurst, and I am joined as always by The Prez, aka Chris Mullaney. How are you doing, mate?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. We're getting to now basically the midway point of the season.
I know. It feels like it's gone too quick. Like, you know, I go to Green Bay in 5 weeks. That's so scary.
Don't rub it in.
No, of course I'm not. No, I'm just saying. It's like then it becomes big time for you. You're gonna need to put on your big boy boots and edit the show, hold down the fort.
That's all right. It's fine.
That's it. All right then. Well, as we always do at the start of our week review shows, we need to attend to some business. So I can't remember if I said this in the review show, but last week I went 12-4 on the pick'ems. That's the best so far. 2-4 on Scorching 6, which wasn't good, and 1-0 on locks, which puts my all-time record at 36-27-1 for the pick'em, 11-13 for the Scorching 6, and 2-2 on locks. Chris, you went 10-6 on the pick'ems, 3-3 on Scorching 6, and 1-0 on locks. So you are 33-30-1, 9-15, and 2-2 respectively. And the guests went 11-5. 3-3 and 1-0, which makes their all-time record 34-29-1, 10-14 and 4-0, which is a problem because this is our show. Like, we can't get beaten on any of these categories in a first season. Like, if you know, if you win 2 and I win 1, that's fine, but we can't have the guest win. That questions our credibility at that point.
It does.
So we need to do something to pull this back. Hopefully, starting this week. But that's business attended to. We will now talk about the week 5 games. So let's do it. Colts at Broncos tonight, Thursday night football. What do you think?
This is a must win for the Broncos.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nathaniel Hackett better look out his dog shoes. I think if they lose tonight, he may as well just abandon the season. I mean, everyone came into this season and it was, oh, well, I nearly said Russell Howard. Russell Wilson's in town, and this is it. We're going to be a fantastic team, and we're going to be challenging for the Super Bowl, and it's just not happened. Nathaniel Hackett, in my opinion, is not a head coach.
Yeah.
He's a coordinator. I mean, it's probably not the best not the best analogy, but Freddie Kitchens was not a head coach, wasn't even a coordinator. But you know, you can't actually. There's major issues with Denver. The good thing, I suppose, is they're playing the Colts, who also have major issues.
Yeah.
I mean, this game, I'm not going to say it. I mean, I'm not going to. Obviously, I have to pick one to win as we do every week. This game could easily end up in a tie. Yeah.
Colts would be the first team to tie 2 games in one season.
Well, at least it would get their record of 0.5.
That's true. I mean, I actually think I would shut down for the rest of the season if 2 teams had a tie. I don't like one team having a tie. Seeing 2, like one team having 2 ties, nah, no thanks. Goodbye.
But it is very possible.
Potentially, yeah.
You know, I think tonight what Nathaniel Hackett has to do is he just has to basically say to Russell Wilson, there's the ball. Do what you want with it as long as you pass it to your guys.
Yeah. I think with Nathaniel Hackett, I think there was a bit like his stock in becoming a head coach was inflated by the fact Aaron Rodgers won 2 back-to-back MVPs. Now, obviously, it's not all on Aaron Rodgers. He's obviously a great Hall of Fame quarterback of all time, and he thanked Nathaniel Hackett in his speech for the one he just won in February there. So, you know, he knows it's not all on him. But I think maybe you're right. I think Nathaniel Hackett probably could have done with maybe at least 1 more year as a coordinator to try and get more of a hold on how he wants his offensive system to work and, you know, basically drilling discipline into the players. Because I think Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers was able to keep everybody in check at the line in Green Bay. But when it comes down to him doing it himself, maybe he's had no experience of that. So could be a factor. But I agree with you. I think if the Broncos lose this one, Nathaniel Hackett will be in the hot seat. Kind of more analysis on this game. Can Russell Wilson build on his best game as a Bronco? 237 yards, 2 touchdowns. Obviously in the losing effort, but he was pretty good last week. He's very good in the first half. We'll give him that.
I think with Russell Howard, Russell, see this,
three times.
That's 3 times. It shows I've just woke up, right? Night shift last night. With Russell Wilson, he's a wee bit, he reminds me a wee bit like Andrew Luck and a wee bit like Aaron Rodgers. Don't tell them how to play.
Yeah.
Give them the ball and let them do it.
Let them sling it, yeah.
Let Russ cook. That's it.
Yeah. Give him the hands to the offense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have to do anything fancy. Play to your strengths. The thing that's going to help Russell Wilson is he is no Javonte Williams this week.
Yeah, so Melvin Gordon will pick up the slack on this one. An interesting matchup, I think, would be Stephon Gilmore versus Courtland Sutton. Gilmore hasn't been as great as he has been in days prior. He's allowed a 96.4 passer rating this season. And the Colts defense as a whole has allowed a 104.9 passer rating, 69.1% completion, and 7 touchdowns, only grabbing 1 pick. And really, it was a bit of luck. It bounced off of receivers' hands. So
I love how you've got your stats. I love that, right? I think, see with that stat completion. Because technically, see if I wanted to against the Colts every week, I could turn around and throw it to the running back. 100% completion.
Yep.
I think we have to look at chunk plays more than anything else.
Yeah. There's going to be no Jonathan Taylor in this matchup. He's out. But the Broncos' run defense is pretty sus. It allowed Josh Jacobs 5.1 yards per carry last week. So no Jonathan Taylor. So Naheem Hines, I think it is, will pick up the slack there. So 2 top running backs out of this game, which is a bit of a shame. This one has kind of a stinker written all over it. This is not a nice looking Thursday night football game, but we'll see. Maybe we'll be wrong. I'm off tomorrow, so I'm going to watch it tonight. Yeah, do you want to pick a winner? I've got the Broncos winning this one just.
I do have the Broncos just sneaking it.
Yeah, I just don't trust the Colts right now at this situation. I just don't think Matt Ryan has a grasp on the offensive system completely. That's not to say the Broncos do, but I think they've got more playmakers across the board than the Colts do. So tough stitch for the Colts, but Broncos win this one just about. All right then, let's keep going. The London game, I should have been there, but it's not happening, unfortunately.
This is the first of the Scotch and Six. This is the original pick, but don't it's Scotch and 7 this week because it includes this pick, so you can remove it if you don't like it.
If you don't want your bet to be null and void before 6, then then throw it away.
Giants plus 9.5.
Okay. All right. Let's get into some analysis. I think that this has trap game written for the Packers all over. I don't like this matchup at all. Lazard had a nice game last week. 6 catches, 116 yards. Very good. Romeo Doubs was pretty good as well. I think he had 6 catches, 47 yards and a touchdown. Should have had 2, but unfortunately dropped it. I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to be the biggest test for this Giants defense so far, which has put up some nice looking games so far. They've held, they've done what they had to do. They haven't been, put up some shocking results where it's been left to the offense, which I don't know if they can. So I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be a big test for this Giants defense. Jones and Dillon had pretty good outings last week, 183 total rushing yards, and the Giants have allowed 5.1 rushing yards per carry on the year. On the other hand, the other running back over in New York, Saquon Barkley, has had a solid game. He had a solid game last year, building on a pretty good year. He had 146 yards and 31 carries. Daniel Jones has been good running it as well. Now, we're not sure what he's going to be like with the ankle. He did practice yesterday. I'm assuming that means he'll probably practice again today. But with an ankle, you've got to assume that maybe his running threat will be diminished slightly. But he did have 2 rushing touchdowns last week, and the Packers' run defense has allowed 5 yards per carry of the year. So I think it comes down to throwing the ball, which team can throw the ball the best. And I'll let you have some points because I know Daniel Jones is your boy.
I think this week is this week's very different from any other week. If this was at Lambeau or this was at MetLife, not really concerning, if you know what I mean, because it's what I've never flown it, so I couldn't tell you, right? But you're having to fly at least 7-8 hours to London, fix the body clock.
Yep.
You're in technically a new environment.
Yep.
new city, new culture. The Giants have done it before, gone to London, but there's none of those Giants that made that trip are there now. I do think that Daniel Jones is doing what he's playing his strengths.
He's making smart decisions.
Yeah, I think it's Daniel. You can't throw it. He's been told that. So run with the thing and make the short throws when you have to make them. Play to your strengths. Run it. Give it to Saquon. Make the short throws. With the spread this week, I think the spread 9.5 is a cracking number. I don't see the Packers overturning that.
Yeah. What was it? 9.5?
9.5.
Right. Okay. Do you want to pick a winner?
I'll let you go first.
Right. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I think the Giants are going to win this one. I think the Giants are going to win this one because I don't trust this Packers defense to stop Saquon. And I think that I don't know. I've just got a sneaky feeling this is a trap game. It feels like one of those down tools, new environments. You know, the Packers had trouble in California. They've had trouble in Florida with Matt LaFleur. I think something similar could happen here with what they know is obviously the last team to ever come to London. And, you know, they know there's a lot of Packers fans over here. The stadium's going to probably be majority of green and gold. So I'm going to take the Giants to win here and plus 9.5 for sure. I can't believe I'm doing this. But the other reason that I'm doing this is because I'm having a little soiree on Sunday. And Chris, I know you were working, so that's why you didn't get an invite.
I'm upset about that.
Now you just turn around the day before and be like, I've got a double time shift, so
I do apologize.
That's all right. I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding.
Money.
That's fair. No, I totally get it, mate. But yes, to my soiree, my best friend's wife is coming, and she is from Minnesota, and she is the biggest bad luck charm ever. I'll give you the reasoning behind this, right? You think maybe one or two times, right? That's a coincidence. There's chance. It's a coincidence, but now there's a pattern going on here. 2017, week 6, Vikings, Packers in Minnesota. Aaron Rodgers breaks his collarbone. Season's written off, basically. When was the next game? Super Bowl 53. We wanted the Rams to win because Tom Brady. No, thank you. Rams win. Rams lose 13-3, was it?
Yeah.
It's Super Bowl 56. Just this one, just there. We wanted the Bengals to win. Rams won. And in week 1, Packers, Vikings win. This is a real thing. And for that reason, I'm going to take the Giants to win here.
Well, I don't like superstition, so I'll have to take the Packers then based on your theory there.
Okay. I would love to be wrong. I really hope I am, but I've got a feeling.
I think it's only a just. I think 9.5 is too much.
So, Giants cover. All right. Good stuff. Let's keep going. Steelers at Bills. Wow. Kenny Pickett starting at quarterback for Pittsburgh in this game. Talk about throwing your rookie quarterback into the fire against this Bills defense. Not a fan of this move. I don't really think they would have been much better with Mitch Trubisky, but I mean, this game could destroy Kenny Pickett's confidence before he even starts building up. That's
not a scorching 6, but do you want to know the line? I told you it last night.
Yes, you did. Go for it. Go for it.
14.5.
Wow.
That is mental.
I would take the Steelers to win to cover there.
There's actually a more mental one coming up than 14.5.
Oh my goodness. I have a feeling I know what that one might be for, so I'll keep it up here and I'll let you know if it is.
No. What game do you think it is?
Is it Texans Jags?
No.
Is it not? Okay. All right.
They're not on it. They're not on it.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Right. Well, we'll talk about this game. Let's do it. So the Bills defense picked off Lamar twice last week. Jordan Poyer in particular allowed no catches and had both of those picks. So that's a big turnout for the Bills defense, which has kind of been, keeping the offense afloat, I would say. I think Josh Allen was great last week. And this was against a banged up defense, 213 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. And I think that was in the first play of the game for the Bills. So, not a good start, but obviously they did end up turning around to win. But I think a lot of that win was down to the Ravens beating themselves and the Bills defense kind of getting them back into it. So, but this is a horrible matchup for the Steelers, with no TJ Watt especially. I think I would feel slightly better about it if TJ Watt was playing, but I'd still pick the Bills to win. That's what I'm going to do here.
I've got Bills to win, lock it up.
It's more than a touchdown.
Is that not allowed, right?
No, the line has to be 6.5 or less.
4.5 then. I'm changing the line. It's 4.
Yeah, if only.
No.
Steelers cover just goes right up.
What was I saying? This is actually not a bad matchup for Kenny Pickett, as everyone's saying.
Yeah.
Last week, Kenny Pickett was told while the game was starting, right, Kenny boy, you're in. He's the full week to practice.
Mm-hmm.
He's the full week to learn the system.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Tomlin would have tailored the game plan to him.
Mm-hmm.
This week is all about the running game for Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Get the ball up to about 3rd and maybe 2, and then throw it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do not do anything fancy, Kenny. And see the fellas in blue or white, whatever colour it is they're going to wear this week, keep it away from them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think that if Najee Harris can get the the run game going, and he's kind of struggled so far, if he can get this going against the Bills defense, I think you can trust him to put the ball into his hands on these third and shorts, and you can even open up play action that way. Which I don't know what the Bills are like against play action, but that it'd be good for the quarterback to essentially get extra time if he can by opening up play action.
Well, I'm going to go Bills to win anyway.
Yeah, Bills to win, of course. All right, let's do it. Let's keep going. Chargers at Browns. Interesting one.
This is a scorcher.
Okay.
Chargers -2.5.
2.5. Okay. I thought Justin Herbert looked pretty comfortable last week. 340 yards, 2 touchdowns. So, another week of rest. Those ribs got to be feeling better. And if he's thrown for 340 yards last week, you got to think they're probably a lot better last week. So this week, I think he's could be pretty much back up to 100%. We hope. Mike Williams versus Denzel Ward is going to be an interesting matchup. Ward allowed no catches versus the Falcons to have a pick. And the Browns pass rush, this is an impressive stat. They had no Myles Garrett or Jadeveon Clowney last week, but still had a 45% pressure rate and a sack last week against Mariota, who only dropped back 19 times. That's a small sample size to be rushed, nearly 10 times.
However, the Falcons' offensive line is worse than the Chargers.
Yes, true. Yeah, the Chargers' O-line only allowed 1 sack and 39 dropbacks last week. So,
if I was a Chargers fan, the only thing that would worry me is no left tackle, Rashad Slater.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So if I was a defensive coordinator, put as much pressure as you can on that left tackle, and hopefully it revolves like a door.
I don't know. I think that what was his name? Salyers? I can't remember the boy's first name. I do apologize, Chargers fans. Salyer, he played pretty well last week. Didn't allow a sack. I don't even think he allowed a pressure. The revolving door on the Chargers offensive line is Storm Norton at right tackle. But that isn't Justin Herbert's blind side, so that's a good look for them. He can maybe escape, the odd pressure.
I think that this week, I think Mike Williams up against Denzel Ward. One thing on Mike Williams' side is the fact he's taller.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's 6'5" or something, isn't he?
And I think Denzel Ward isn't.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think, well, fine then. If you wouldn't let me take the Bills, can I have the Chargers and lock it up?
Chargers lock it up. Let's do it. So Chargers lock and Chargers cover. 2.5.
Yeah.
Technically
only have to win by a field goal.
Yeah. See cover. I'm just figuring out what I'm writing here. I'm going to agree with you there. Chargers cover pretty easily. I think that the wheels are maybe falling off the Browns now. They should have won that game last week, and there's 2 games now where they should be 4-0 realistically, right? There's no way they should be 2-2, and the fact that they are, kind of shows that the wheels aren't really there. I mean, there's nothing on Jacoby Brissett. I think there's just a lot of other things going wrong. He's played well and beyond what they could have expected of him. So
definitely.
But yep, no, I've got the Chargers winning and covering here. I think it'll be by about a touchdown. Do you want to give a score for this one? Just a fun one.
I will go 23-14.
23-14. All right, I'm going to go with 27-20. Let's go with that.
Okay.
I like it. Yeah. But yeah, no, the kind of last point on this one was I think that Dameon Pierce, had a really nice performance last week versus the Chargers run defense. 131 rushing yards and a 75-yard touchdown, which sets up well for Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. But no, I think what you say. I think the Chargers should kind of be able to put it to bed early with the passing game. Yeah, cool. Let's keep going. It's good. We're making good time here. You said the week 4 review show was probably our shortest yet, and it's actually our second longest so far since the season started. So, hey-ho. Right, Texans at Jags.
Not a scotcher. I was just checking I hadn't included it. This is a Jags win. I mean, this is like this actually. I would have locked it up, right? Only the line is a bit. The line is 7.5.
It's a bit just too much.
Yeah, I think Jags will win it. I mean, I think there's no doubt in that. I think James Robinson, Trevor Lawrence, Christian Kirk, that defense, Texans up a shot.
Yeah.
Dameon Pierce, he's the running back.
Yeah, he's rolling. The train is rolling. A breakout game last week, obviously. The question is, can Devin Lloyd help neutralize the threat that he possesses? Devin Lloyd had 14 tackles last week, and I back him to do the same.
Yeah,
or not the same, but still neutralize Dameon Pierce.
So that's everything for me on that game. On you go.
One of the things that kind of worries me about this game is Trevor Lawrence had 5 turnovers last week. 4 of them were fumbles. Now, I've seen one, the ball slipped out of his hand in the rain. You got to do a better job. Jalen Hurts was fine. He was in the same rain, so something to watch. Maybe an anomaly. Let's hope so. On the Texans side, Derek Stingley has been targeted the most out of every Texans defensive back, but has only allowed a 79.8 passer rating, which I think is pretty impressive, all things considering. So interesting one, but yeah, I'm gonna take Jags to win, and I still think the Texans will be searching for that elusive win.
Well, I have to take the Jags this week.
Yeah.
I don't like your theory.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jags.
Yeah, cool. All right, we'll get one more in, and then we'll go for a break. Bears at Vikings.
This is a scotcher.
Okay, Scotch 6-3.
Vikings minus 6.5.
Okay, you could lock this one up then.
They do not trust Justin Fields.
Yeah, that's the same point. They won't throw the ball.
Somebody put a stat up online, and it was that one player has actually got more yards than the whole Bears.
Ouch.
The Bears are pathetic. I don't want to use that word. I hate that word, but now knowing this week they're going to win, aren't they? But Justin Fields isn't trusted. I think they have to run it with Herbert. But the Vikes defense isn't actually bad against the run.
Yeah.
So just stop that, fill that box.
Force Justin Fields to throw, and you can shut him out, to be honest.
Exactly. I mean, there is no way, and it's a 1:00 game. So Kirk this week. But I think even last week in London, they won. I think Vikings will win this one pretty easily. I'm thinking at least by 13 points, maybe more.
Yeah. Right. So Vikings win. Plus cover. There we go. That's that written down. Now, I agree with you. They obviously aren't trusting Justin Fields to throw, and they're going to need to pound the rock with Khalil Herbert. I'm not too sure what David Montgomery's status is yet, but I think it's still a lower leg injury, and it's tough to come back from them the week. It's tough to make a real impact the week you're back from a leg injury as a receiver or a running back. So something to watch there. Khalil Herbert, he's been good. It's 4.1 yards per carry last week, but like you say, the run defense for the Vikings is pretty good. They held Mark Ingram to about 60 yards on 10 carries last week, was it? Something like that. And the Bears, on the other side, the Bears only allowed 71 passing yards last week. Now, I know that's because, the Giants are a similar situation. They don't trust Daniel Jones to throw. But the Bears defense is solid. They've got a good pass rush, and they've got, some decent corners there. So, and then you combine that with, Jake, our friend of the show, Jake, said that I'm being a little bit biased, but I really don't think that Kirk Cousins is playing that well at all. He had 273 yards, touchdown, and a pick last week against a good Saints defense, but he's got all the weapons that he needs on the offense, and was a little bit helped with by the referees, the offensive pass interference on Adam Thielen, which was called for Marshawn Lattimore. So I'm still going to take the Vikings to win and cover, but I feel like they're gonna get found out soon of somebody who will take them for real.
Shall I get my violin out? The way you were going. Rate the Vikings.
I still think they're going to win the division. But I think it'll be close. I think it'll probably go down to week 18.
Vikings smacked the Packers in week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Week 2 doesn't count
because it affects the Kirk Cousins agenda.
Yes, it was a Monday. We don't count Mondays.
Okay, all right.
Week 3 they won.
Mm-hmm. Barely.
Week 4 they actually travelled to a different country and won.
Mm-hmm.
And this week they're going to win.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Vikings win. All right, we'll take a short break, and then when we're back, we'll hit Lions at Patriots. Okay, Lions at Patriots. It's an interesting one. Lions have the first overall ranked offense in terms of points scored, and the 32nd ranked defense in terms of points allowed. Every game they've played in so far this season has had at least 52 points. This is huge.
The line.
Okay.
Scotcher.
Okay.
Lions plus 3.5.
Oh yeah.
That's the mental one.
Mm-hmm. That's quite crazy, that.
How can the Lions be the dogs here? Oh, Richard Attenborough, he'll be crapping himself now. Lions aren't dogs.
Yeah. When you look at Jared Goff is cooking in this offense, even without the top weapons, Amon-Ra St. Brown, no DeAndre Swift. He has a 99.9 passer rating on the year. And, even when DeAndre Swift is out, Jamal Williams can fill in pretty well. 19 carries, 108 yards, 2 touchdowns. I don't trust this Patriots offense to keep up with the Lions here. I mean, they'll have more success moving the ball against the Lions defense, no matter who's at quarterback, where I still don't think Mac Jones will be able to go, so it's probably going to be Bailey Zappi. But so I think that, they'll still be able to move the ball okay, maybe put up a couple points, but I think Detroit's too explosive, and for that reason, I'm going to take the Lions, and I'll take them to cover, but it's not my lock. I wish it was. I'd have known that line.
I told you this week was a surefire.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We're in agreement 4 for 4 so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You got anything else to say on this game?
No. It was pretty ham and egger, as you like to say.
You say Lions and cover, yeah?
Yeah.
That's it. Nice. Okay. We'll keep going. We're making good time. A hurry up offense here. Seahawks at Saints.
This is another Scotcher.
My goodness.
Seattle plus 6.5.
Ooh, okay.
Now, it was going to be Andy Dalton, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the Saints are a wee bit...
Mm-hmm. We don't know who's going to be available for them on offense.
I mean, Seattle also have the most beautiful man on the planet at wideout. He is a fine specimen of a man. DK Metcalf.
Yeah. Is this the guy that needed a medical cart to go and take a dump?
Oh, honestly, see, he looks like one of those guys you created in a video game.
Yeah.
And he's actually playing okay.
Yeah. Everybody said the Seahawks offense is going to be a bit off this year. Look, Geno Smith's playing lights out. He's a very much like Jacoby Brissett in Cleveland. He's playing way better than anybody could have expected. Last week, I get it was against the Lions defense, but you still need to do it when the ball's in your hand.
Exactly.
Numbers mean nothing when it's actually time to play the game. And any given Sunday and all that. I think if Geno puts up another performance like he did last week and the Seahawks move to 3-2, the Seahawks could be contenders late in the season. I think every facet of their team is holding up in a really, really good way.
Yeah, I've got to say, I think Seattle are doing what Seattle was expected to do. So for that reason, I'm going to take Seattle to win this. And of course, with obviously the line.
Yep. What was the line again?
6.5.
6.5. Okay. What else do I have to say in this game? I think an interesting matchup will be DK Metcalf versus Marshawn Lattimore. Saints corners allowed to pass a rating of under 80 this year, but he is coming off a bad game. He was pretty poor in London against Justin Jefferson, who had about 10 catches and 140 odd many yards. So, he's going to be angry. I think this is going to be a good matchup. Two of them going at it. Cameron Jordan, Marcus Davenport, and Saints defense had a sack and 12 pressures combined last week. Good outing for them against, a pretty good offensive line. The Seahawks offensive line isn't great, but didn't allow a sack last week. I think Geno was only pressured like 3 times or something. So good look for them. And Rashad Penny was really good last week again. 151 yards, 2 touchdowns, 17 carries. We did speak about it on the recap show, but the Saints' run defense only allowed Dalvin Cook to have 76 yards. So I think this is a game where it comes down to which quarterback touches the ball last and can he make a play. And with the way Geno's playing right now, why would you bet against him? He's balling out. So yeah, I'm going to take the Seahawks to win and cover here.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. Dolphins at Jets. Teddy Bridgewater starting at QB for the Dolphins.
Not worried about it at all, even if I was a Dolphins fan. Not worried about it. I think Teddy Bridgewater doesn't make mistakes. If there's nothing on, he'll just chuck it away.
Yeah.
On a good side for this is going to be the biggest test for Sauce Gardner. Because those 75-yard runs, Teddy can pick them. And I think he can reach, and I think this is going to be whether Sauce Gardner should have been number 4 overall.
Yeah.
Can you contain Tyreek Hill?
He's got the speed. He is fast.
If they're containing Tyreek, then they'll just go to Jalen Waddle and then obviously Gesicki in the run game. But I can't see the Jets doing it. I mean, I know they're playing okay, and I know Zach Wilson's back, but...
The dog.
Yeah, the dog of the week, yes. But I can't see. I just can't see any other winner other than Dolphins here.
Yeah. The Dolphins' offensive line has only allowed 1 sack and 38 dropbacks last week. The Jets, on the other hand, had 3 sacks last week again and have a 29.1% pressure rate on the year, which is not bad considering how many names can you think are on that Jets pass rush. And I think the Dolphins defense kind of struggled to get home this season, and it was kind of compounded last week when they only sacked Joe Burrow once, and that offensive line is a big problem. The Jets have experience facing, backup quarterbacks. They faced, Mitch Trubisky last week, and they faced Kenny Pickett, obviously, in relief. So we'll see. I think that Teddy Bridgewater, I think you say, isn't going to make the mistakes that those two made. And I think the offensive firepower around him is good, Chase Edmonds, that kind of thing. So I think Dolphins win, but I think it'll be closer than people think.
Okay.
All right. Falcons at Buccaneers.
Bucks were embarrassed on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll rebound this week and give the Falcons a tanking.
Yeah.
I mean, Brady, I think needs to tell his wife to shut up, technically.
Mm.
You know, I mean, to be honest, the whole Brady thing is the thing with Brady is he's got all his friends around him now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I can't see the Falcons doing anything spectacular. And they were humiliated last Sunday night.
Yeah, and angry
Time.
Tom Brady's never a good thing to have come into your building or go into a building with him in. So
Yeah, so I can't see the Falcons doing anything offensive or defensive. I'm going to take Bucks to win.
mm-hmm.
There's actually another line you can get. It's not a Scottish, so it doesn't matter. But I've actually took the Bucks -17.
What? Is this the crazy one you were talking about?
No, that's not the line. The line's different. But
right,
you know, on Sky Bet, you can go like alternative handicap.
Oh yeah, I get you.
That was one of them, and I went, I'm having that.
It's 50p. Why not? I think that I agree with you. I think the Buccaneers are going to win here. No Cordell Patterson for Atlanta is a problem. The run game, that's not to say the run game was pretty solid with Tyler Algier and Caleb Huntley last week. Filled in pretty well, and obviously they won the game. Cordell Patterson's on injured reserve, so no, we're not going to see him for 4 games. Now, is that going to be a detriment to the Falcons offense? I don't know. We'll see what we see this week with, a pretty good run defense going against 2 running backs, which played pretty well last week against another decent run defense on its day. I know they didn't have 2 of their main guys, but even still, I thought Tom Brady had his best game of the season last week, and a full complement of wide receivers, like you say, works wonders. The matchup I want to see here is Mike Evans versus AJ Terrell. Terrell's only allowed 7 catches and 54.8 passer rating over the last 2 games, which is a big turnaround to his first 2 games of the season. So, again, I think this is going to be a close one. I think the Buccaneers will win, but I think you're going to lose your money with that 17, unfortunately.
Okay.
I think it'll be something like 23-14 or something like that. 23-3, yeah. All right, we'll keep going. We're making good time here. We're doing well. Titans at Commanders.
This is the mental one.
Okay. Is this last Scorching 6?
No, there's one more after this.
All right, okay.
Titans -1.5.
What? Oh, jeez.
I told you this week was a surefire. I told you.
100%. Right. My thoughts on this game. I think Derrick Henry is back in form. 114 yards, 22 carries, and a touchdown last week against the Colts. And I don't trust the Commanders to stop him, which is, the key to beating the Titans, as we know. Shut down Derrick Henry, put the ball in Ryan Tannehill's hands, and force them to find receivers, which they just don't have.
Exactly.
Carson Wentz hasn't been able to stay upright. As a result, he only had 4.2 yards per attempt last week. He was sacked twice, but pressured on 40.9% of his dropbacks, which is not good. I mean, 30%, that's a lot. So 40%, that's not good at all. But the Titans' pass defense was pretty bad last week. They allowed Matt Ryan to have 356 yards and 2 touchdowns. So one to watch out for. If the Commanders can somehow give Carson Wentz time, maybe he can deal some damage, because but the thing is the Titans pass rush is really good. They've got Harold Landry. No, he's done for the year, isn't he? Obviously Danico Autry had a good game last week, and there's 2 other boys on the field I can't remember, but they were pretty good, and they have been pretty good so far this season. But I'm going to take the Titans to win here, and I'm going to take them to lock it up.
Yeah, that's what you might. So I've got the Titans, and of course, obviously, when I take the line, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your line is slightly different from me, because you use Sky Bet and I use Paddy Power. That's why I was a bit surprised at the difference in that there. So what was it? I think it was 3 for me.
I got Titans -1.5.
That's mad. Okay, Titans This isn't Scorching 6, is it? No.
No, that's the Scorcher.
Oh, is it? Okay. 6, Titans cover. And cover. There we go. This is not looking good. We're pretty much like, other than the Packers Giants game, we're like, it's like exactly the same here.
I haven't done. Let's go.
Let's do it. 49ers at Panthers.
This is a bit of a. That's how I feel about this game.
I don't like this game at all.
Because the Panthers are poor,
but
the 49ers played Monday night. I don't know what. I can't see the Panthers winning. I just can't. I've got 49ers to win. I think they'll win it pretty comfortably in the end. I think Jimmy G is showing why he's called Jimmy G. But I just think that there's no way for me I can see the Panthers winning this.
Yeah, it's fair enough. No, I'm in agreement here. I think Deebo Samuel has arrived. After a quiet 3 weeks, he had 6 catches of 115 yards and a touchdown. Interesting matchup will be against J.C. Horn, who's only allowed a 45.4 passer rating this season, which is really good. You know, the Panthers' defense has kind of been their bright spot in a really disappointing campaign so far. They've, the defense as a whole has allowed 83.1 passer rating and held Kyler Murray to just 6.5 yards per attempt last week, which isn't bad, but it's not great, so there's that. I just don't trust the Panthers at all. Despite 49ers being on their third string left tackle, Jimmy G wasn't sacked once in 27 attempts last week, or pass attempts last week. I think this could get pretty ugly pretty quick. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised Matt Rule was out the door Monday morning, unfortunately.
Well, I better look at my passport then.
I just don't see how this is going to turn around right now. Who they're facing, that kind of thing. It just seems to be unfavorable matchup after another. Christian McCaffrey has been kind of a bright spot in the Panthers offense. He had back-to-back 100-yard rushing games in weeks 2 and 3, but only had about 38 yards last week. He had a lot of good catches. I think he had 81 yards for, last week, but obviously in a losing effort, so it doesn't matter. So I'm going to take 49ers here.
Okay.
You're in agreement with me?
Yes.
All right then. Let's keep going. Eagles at Cardinals. Interesting one. This could be a good one.
You go.
So I think the Cardinals defense needs to find a way to stop all facets of the Eagles offense, because they can just beat you in any way. Take away the run, Jalen Hurts will throw it. You can take away lock down the receivers. The run game, Miles Sanders' ball, and Jalen Hurts has got legs, obviously, as well. So, the Jags saw it firsthand last week. They took away the passing threat that Jalen Hurts posed. Still lost because the Eagles were able to beat them on the ground. However, they did hold Christian McCaffrey to just 3.4 yards per carry last week. So that's an interesting look. Maybe a turnaround for the Cardinals defense, which has been pretty bad in most areas so far this season. Run and the pass, not been good, which is a big reason as to why they're 2-2 when really they could be 3-1 maybe. And no Darius Slay in this game for the Eagles. So James Bradbury will probably be against AJ Brown, and I don't like that matchup. Marquise Brown. I was half right.
You meant AJ Brown, but I thought you meant AJ Green. I was like,
I was half right. I'll take it. But yeah, I don't really like that matchup too much. James Bradbury's been playing pretty well, but I think he's maybe just a little bit too old to keep up with the young whippersnapper there. But regardless, I'm taking the Eagles to win here. I think they'll find a way, as they have been doing so much this season. What do you think?
I think we said this after week 2 when the Cardinals beat the Ravens. This is the turning point, and Kyle. And then what happened the week after? That's what happened. Kyler Murray has to use his legs. That's the only way for the Cardinals to win this. The running game for the Cardinals is pretty non-existent. But Zach Ertz will turn up this week. He He always seems to turn up. I still think he's relying too much on Marquise Brown for my liking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't rate Rondale Moore either. I think because what I noticed last week was he snaps the ball when he's thrown to Rondale Moore, and any idiot can see it.
Mm-hmm.
He turns to the side and throws it flat.
Yeah.
To him.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see that and you know that and you see him turn to the side, the corner just has to move up.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as he stops, as soon as he gets him, it's
lights out.
Floor.
Yeah.
However, because the 5-year-old's been hearing the podcast, we listen to it in the car. So
mm-hmm.
I'm taking the Cardinals. I think they'll win it. I think there's got to be a turning point at some point. Somebody has to stop Jalen Hurts. Mm-hmm. And I said to someone on another podcast, I said that the Cards will win it.
Yeah. Why not this week, you know? No, I think it's good. It's actually going to be.
I always say it because the guy's an Eagles fan.
I still haven't been invited on that podcast, so I'm not.
No. It wasn't on the podcast. I said it to him in private message.
Oh, right, okay. Well, still, I haven't been invited on that podcast, which is I'm assuming it's that I am talking about the right guy there.
Yes.
I got asked, you want to come on the podcast, but haven't been followed up. So come on, guys, let's get this moving here. I need to brighten this up a little bit. Yeah, Eagles. So that's only our second disagreement in the picks so far this week. Kind of seems like a lot of games to be in agreement with, really. But we'll keep going. Cowboys at Rams. I think this is Cooper. Is this the last one?
This is the last one. Cowboys plus 5.5.
Okay.
On you go.
So we're not actually counting this one because it's the 7th game, but it's just for people if they want their coupon to not be done before 6 p.m.
Yes. So if you don't want the Giants game, you would take this one. No, sorry. This was an original.
All right.
The spot was the Lions in.
I get you. Okay. All right. But we're not putting this one towards the standings.
No, it's up to you. You're the host.
Okay, we'll just go with the first 6. You just if you want to do 7 in future, just let me know which 7 or which 6 you want put in.
Yeah, that's fine.
Or maybe we could change it to Scorching 7, maybe 1 week or 2.
Well,
I don't know. Experiments.
Take the Giants out because it's half 2.
All right. Okay, we'll do it.
Right, take the Giants out because that's half 2, and then because it's not really a standard game, if you know what I mean. We wouldn't obviously.
I get you. All right, then. I think this is a Cooper Rush statement game. I genuinely think that if the Cowboys win this game, and I really think they can, if they win this game, you got to keep rolling with Cooper Rush until he loses. I think until he has a real this guy's clearly a backup game. 3 picks, less than 100 yards passing, and they just completely shut him down. I think that you got to do right by him. You got to keep rolling with Cooper Rush, and should the occasion arise, you've got Dak there waiting, and we know what Dak can do given any moment. So, but yeah, I think if Cooper Rush wins this game, you got to keep rolling with him. What would you say to that?
I think I mean, what I have noticed about the Cowboys is they aren't relying too much on Cooper Rush.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What they realised was, Cooper, you're not a starter, so let's rely on Tony Pollard and Zeke. And Zeke's becoming, the only issue I fear this week is obviously Aaron Donald. Nobody stops him.
Mm-hmm.
Cooper Kupp on the other side of the ball as well. However, on the Cowboys defense, they've got a guy called Micah Parsons.
Mm-hmm. No sacks in the last 2 weeks, though. So,
well, he's been holding them up for this week. I actually think the Cowboys will win this one. I think the Rams are a bit hit and miss right now, and I think this week's a miss. And I'm going to go with a Cowboys win.
I can't believe this. We're 6 for 6 on Scorching 6 in agreement this week. Yeah, I'm going to take the Cowboys to win here as well. I think CeeDee Lamb and Jalen Ramsey is going to have a really interesting matchup. This is probably the toughest defense the Cowboys have faced so far, but they've been holding things together. Their offensive line's been pretty good. And Matt Stafford has no touchdowns in back-to-back weeks. I think he looks like a shadow of himself from last year. 254 yards and an interception and a 71 passer rating last week. Just recipe for bad juju. And honestly, Matt Stafford could retire after this year. He's just not feeling it. I know he's just signed that big contract, but I just feel like, he's struggling a lot this year. Maybe I'll be wrong. They didn't really get off to the fastest start last year, but we'll see. But I think that the Rams are going to struggle in this game, and I'm going to take the Cowboys to win. Who would have seen this? Super Bowl champions starting 2-3.
I know.
And if our picks are all right here, or if your picks are all right, they go bottom of the division. So there you go. But yeah, Cowboys to win, Cowboys to cover.
If all my picks are right, we've got some money this week.
Yep, that is true. Yes, that's true. I said I was going to hold you to it when you said it was a winner, and I unwittingly have. All right, let's close this out with the 2 primetime games. No guest.
No guest. Do you know something? See, try to find a guest these days. It's hard.
That's fine. They don't want to come on. They don't want to get humiliated. They don't want to be the one that gets the lock wrong and lets us back into the game.
That is it.
Mm-hmm.
What we'll do for the guesting is I'll get the 5-year-old to do it again.
Yeah, it's cool. That works.
She said she wants to. What she said was, if I get more than 11, do I get a brand new train? So we'll use quarterback logic. So.
Yeah. Okay. This game, Bengals at Ravens, Sunday Night Football. I think the key for the Ravens here is they need to stop Joe Burrow, and they'll stop Cincinnati. Very much like you stop Derrick Henry, you stop the Titans. He had 287 passing yards and 2 touchdowns last week versus the Dolphins, and I think there's nothing to say he won't keep that rolling, really. The Ravens secondary is banged up. Their offensive line is playing better. Less sacks allowed as the weeks go by. It was 7-6, 2, and then 1. So, that's good. The Ravens' pass defense is playing well, right? It held Josh Allen to just 213 yards and a touchdown. We also picked him off on the first play of the game. Now, that's good against one of the league's best, and many people think that he'll be hoisting Lombardi at the end of this year. I just think there's some cracks showing in the Bills in the last couple of weeks.
The Bills.
Yeah.
Oh,
the Bills.
Talk about the Ravens. I was like,
yeah. No, I think the Ravens are struggling. This banged up secondary is a big problem, and I think that the Bengals have a better trio of wide receivers than the Bills. If you go for the top of your head, you've got Chase, Higgins, and Boyd, and then on Buffalo you've got Diggs and McKenzie and Gabriel Davis, and I just think that the Bengals have better weapons. But I mean, if you're on your back, you can't throw at them, as Joe Burrow's found. So it's a tough one to pick. I'm going to take the Bengals to win here. I mean, they've let me down both times I've picked them so far in the season, so hopefully it won't be the case again. But I'm going to take the Bengals here to win a close one that can be a little bit uncomfortable for them, shall we say. And the Ravens will lose their 6th straight home game dating back to last season. So not good times for them.
I'm going to go against you, and I'm taking the Ravens to win.
Okay.
Now, I'm actually working Sunday night because it's better for childcare. Something's on the telly in that night. Lamar has to show why he wants a big paycheck. And no better time to do it than when the nation's watching. In-division game. And I think if they can get the win, this is it.
And they could go on a roll.
Yeah.
I think it sets a precedent for both teams. Like, I think either team wins, they could start going on a roll.
So, Ravens for a win.
All right, then. All right, let's close this out with the Monday Night Football preview. Raiders at Chiefs. It's going to be a good one.
Now, I know you can put clips in from other things, but do not put in the clip I said next from last week.
What was it again?
Whoever wins this game wins the division.
It's happening. I'm going to set up the virtual microphone for the review show so I can do it if need be.
Davante Adams has arrived. But it's not. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I actually do like Derek Carr on primetime. It's strange. This is actually going to be my first proper Monday night game.
Oh, yeah?
I've only been catching the highlights.
You're going to be able to watch it?
I'm working because of
childcare, yeah.
Well, that's what I told my boss.
All right. Let's hope she doesn't listen to this podcast.
Can you imagine that, couldn't you? I need to work Thursday, Sunday, and Monday for childcare, but there's NFL on, you know. Oh, I'm telling you, before I crack on, will you watch the NFL and then Road Wars starts?
No.
I quite like Road Wars.
Oh, Road Wars is very, very entertaining. I like it.
I can show you how to smuggle drugs and everything.
Uh-oh. U.S. Border Patrol and safety for that. I'm not interested in Chris's advice. If you're listening to this podcast before I come to America.
Somebody gets searched at the airport.
That's it. My arse!
But I think Derek Carr in prime time is different than Derek Carr on a Sunday. I think Davante Adams has to show why they're paying a fortune. The Chiefs secondary isn't as good as a lot of people are saying. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think Josh Jacobs as well is playing quite well. The run game.
Yep, he came off a career game. You know, he was a big factor in them staying on the field last week.
Now, because one quarterback's wearing 15 and one's wearing 4, and 15's not a multiple of 4, so we're taking Derek Carr.
Taking the Raiders to win this one.
Yeah.
All right, I'm glad we've kind of got some difference here. I am taking the Chiefs to win. You just saw Patrick Mahomes rip up one of the best defenses in the league on primetime last week. You're going to bet him against this Raiders defense? No thanks. Yes. I want none of that. Mahomes coming off probably his best game of the season so far. Raiders pass defense has allowed a 103.2 passer rating on the season. I think they allowed Russell Wilson 132 or something like that. Something crazy. You know, I think Josh Jacobs is going to be a factor again. I think, you know, he had obviously a really good game, and we didn't really see the Chiefs defense in action, you know, the run defense in action much last week. They only allowed 0.5 yards per carry, but the Bucs only ran the ball 6 times. So, you know, it's going to be a test. I think the run defense needs to stay ready, because it's clear that's, you know, going to be early success for the Raiders is running the ball here and not force feeding the ball to, you know, receivers that, you know, clearly aren't making a difference. So I'm going to take the Chiefs here, and yeah, it's going to be a good game. I'm going to watch them both. Watch prime time if I can stay away. Did you watch the Manning cast, by the way? Oh, wait. So Monday Night Football. You should see if you could watch the Manning cast.
Okay,
it's really good. I watched it just for just there, and really, really enjoyed it. It's a good laugh. They just take the knack at each other. So,
well, that's me. Well, that's us. That's us for this week, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah, it was a good episode. We did hurry up offense pretty well there. So what's that?
I like hurry up offense.
Yeah, it's good. I need to get this edited because I'm going to my mum and dad's house for dinner. So,
we'll have fun.
I will. I'm getting to watch Man United up there. So, get some team against that plays in Narnia or something like that.
Cyprus.
Yes, basically the same thing.
Under the coach of Neil Lennon.
What's that?
Neil Lennon is the head coach of
really? Oh, I didn't know that. There you go. But yep, that's it from us this week. For the preview show, check out us on Facebook, which is End of the Fourth Podcast. You can find us on Instagram, which is End of the Fourth Pod. It's the same on Twitter, but instead of the word fourth, it's 4th, as in fourth, End of the Fourth Pod. And you can check out the Let's Talk Sport Twitter, which is at Let Talk Sport. And if you're watching the show, you're obviously on the you're listening to our YouTube channel, but check out their YouTube channel as well, which is the same thing as Let's Talk Sports. Dan's, you know, getting things moving over there. They're pretty much live every day with anything you really want: baseball, basketball, American football, soccer, rugby, golf, cricket, all those, you know, less relevant sports towards the end. But yeah, that was fun. Chris, as always, Looking forward to a good week of NFL action.
Yes. For this week, let's hope that we have a winner.
Yes.
Been dying to have a winning scotcher.
Yes, well, I mean, you kind of just need to, have a good result regardless, because this is your section. It was your idea, and you are last in standings right now. So can't have this happen, bro.
I know, but it's a good laugh.
No, it's good.
Funny thing is, every week, see when I do this Scotch and Six, I should just put the bloody bet on today. Mm-hmm. Because I normally wait to the Sunday and the line changes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to actually put the bet on today.
I might do the same. All right, then. Well, that's it from us. We will catch you on the review show on Tuesday. Chris, thank you as always.
Yes.
And from me, B-Hizzy, ciao for now.